Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Deal or No Deal Island, Season 2, Episode 9, titled Million Dollar Walk. Last week on Dondi, players made a deal in the daily challenge that left Dixon and Lachelle at risk, and when Parvati won the challenge, she sent Lachelle to face the banker. Lachelle thought she was dope, but the banker said no. She made a bad deal and was eliminated from the game. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist where you can catch up on my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. My videos aren't meant to replace the original content, so if you missed the episode, I encourage you to seek it out on Peacock to enjoy and form your own opinion. But let's dive into it. We pick back up the day after Lachelle's elimination. We're down to our final 6, and the newbie players have finally caught on to David and Parvati, running the game after they won the last challenge. Dixon tells David that he's loyal to the family alliance, but takes his fake girlfriend Letty to the pier as his survivor mom and dad look on with pride. Dixon gives Letty a friendship bracelet that says Dondi babe, so obviously they're engaged. Dixon suggests that they turn on Parvati and insinuates that Parvati has been selfish with safety throughout the game. He tells us he could choose either alliance at this point. They head to their daily challenge where it's raining and Joe is wearing an uncharacteristically simple business casual look that honestly is stunned in love. They need to pick a case and walk across the longest balance beam I've ever seen in my life above a pit of what Joe calls quicksand. The cases they need to carry are all different weights. The heavier the cases are, the higher their value. They'll each pick a case based on guesstimation. Then they'll have to skitter across a balance beam with 2 minutes on the clock to get from one side to the other. If they fall off the balance beam, they could still keep going, but they have to go through the quicksand. If they don't get to the other side in under 2 minutes, they'll automatically be assigned a low value case. The player with the highest value silver case will be in charge for the week. There are also 2 red cases that they're told are the heaviest. Any player who gets one of those across will be safe for the week. Dixon is first. He chooses the heavy red case. He instantly falls off the balance beam into the quicksand and gets stuck. This reminded me of the horse from the Neverending Story. So when I finished effing crying about that, I caught Dixon's time running out, doesn't finish the task, and has to pick a low value case. Dixon gets to pick the next player to run, and after a campaign from his beloved Letty, he still picks his zaddy David. David also picks a heavy case and quickly falls, but David says he has quicksand experience. I needed more information about that statement, but David does make it across with his big heavy case. David picks Parvati to go next. She picks the other red case, which satisfyingly matches her outfit. She also falls and starts crawling in the mud. For a second, she looks like she's not going to do it, but she makes it across, getting the red case and guaranteed safety for an insane 9th week in a row. She picks CK to go next, who also falls, but on the way down hits the balance beam and faceplants into the mud. I can hear every mother in America screaming, "You're gonna break your neck!" But after a commercial cliffhanger, she lives and makes it across, securing her case and choosing Letty next. Letty doesn't want to get hurt, so she jumps right into the mud and makes it across, leaving Philip as the last player to try. Philip tells Joe that he's gone his whole life without being chosen and basically insinuates to Joe that the other players know his life story and still left him for last, with camera cut to Parvati on the sidelines, and nobody made it further than a few feet. This balance beam was a waste of wood. As the biggest loser, Dixon will automatically be at risk with the other 2 lowest value silver cases, and the player with the highest value silver case will be safe and in power for the week. David has the highest value case, and Dixon, Philip, and Letty have the lowest cases and will be eligible to face the banker. For some reason, CK isn't eligible to face the banker, but still could go home if she's picked by someone who faces the banker. After the challenge, Philip and Letty chastise Dixon for siding with the family and not them. Dixon offers to make it up to them by facing the banker and taking CK out, but David then threatens Letty to send her to the temple, which pisses her off. The family holds a meeting with Parvati also on board with targeting Letty, but Dixon fears that if they pick Letty, she'll eliminate him. When David meets with Letty, Letty plays hardball, threatening David by telling him she actually will target Dixon if he picks her. So we head to the temple with David unsure if Letty, who is wearing her finest haunted talisman, is bluffing, and Joe is wearing an unsettling white jacket black shirt combo that makes him look like Nona's Italian black and white cookie. Joe weirdly points out that David, who is married, and Parvati have a connection, which is so weird of Joe to do. Dixon asks to play the banker, but David still picks Letty, and Dixon is really performative in acting like he wanted to play, in a way that looks like it was obviously coached by his stage parents. Letty is annoyed. She says that either she or Dixon are going home tonight. Letty gets started with her game of Deal or No Deal with David's $2.5 million case, the highest value on the board. Letty says she's going to be bussin' down with case number 2, which was her volleyball number, and she weirdly sniffs the bust down case. Letty has an amazing first round for regular Deal or No Deal, knocking down 3 low value cases, which for some reason is bad on Dondi because she's offered $273,000 and a 5/8 chance of going home, which she of course declines. In the second round, she knocks down high value cases, but is offered $599,000 and a 50/50 chance of going home. It's no deal for her dog. And in the third round, she knocks off the highest value case. She gets offered $550,000 and a 2/3 chance of staying. Y'all know I would take the deal the second I had good odds to stay in the game, and she also takes the deal, adding $550,000 to the pot. Letty opens the bust down case, which contains $250, meaning she beat the banker and can eliminate CK, Philip, or Dixon, and she follows goes through and eliminates Dixon. On the way out, Dixon tells David that he's like the dad he wishes he still had. So we lose Dixon here, who had consistent content from the start of the show, mainly as the adopted son of Parvati and David, which started kind of cute but developed into a place that was honestly kind of sad and too real, with Dixon really loving David, which I think is such a compliment to David as a stand up person. The highlight of the season for him is his impressively picking the $5 million case, which is one of the best moments of the show so far. And heading into this endgame, he was set up to play both sides, though in this episode, he really got screwed by the show when he's forced to pick a side during the challenge, which led to his elimination by his island babe Letty. I thought Dixon was a really interesting character, though I can't really see him returning to a different competition show. The episode ends with a phone call from the banker telling them that next week will lead to a double elimination at Temple, leading to the final three. With this episode being titled $1 Million Walk, I thought they were going to offer someone $1 million to leave. The challenge could have been a lot of fun if the balance beam was a little bit easier. I don't mind that everybody fell, but they could have at least had a chance to get across. Coming into a double elimination next week, we need to unite in our support of Queen Parvati so she can at least make it to the finale. But that's all I have to say about this episode. The pot stands at $9,732,000. Beware the banker. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode, the challenge, and Dixon's departure, and what two players do you want to see eliminated next week in the double elimination. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next Tuesday with more Deal or No Deal Island. I'm also recapping the Challenge All-Stars, Survivor 48, and the Traders. You know where to find me. Bye!